Hey, it's Hannah Mason here, and welcome to the Vitality Show. I mentioned that today I was going to be talking about the one question that has absolutely transformed my life more than any other question. And I have to say, I like asking questions. I'm a very inquisitive person. I love to learn. I love to explore. I like to wonder about things. But there's this one question that's absolutely transformed my life experience. And it's really rooted in the fact that I have so many emotional ups and downs over the course of my life, just like the rest of us, because I'm human. And I'd like as much as possible to experience joy and exhalation and calm and peace. And I've always been trying to figure out, okay, how do I get to that, right? How do I get as much of that joy, happy place as I possibly can? Now, I've got all sorts of tools that I've learned over the years, like putting on happy music, writing down things I'm grateful for, spending time with people I care about, doing things I really enjoy, exercising, getting fresh air, being in nature. There's so many things that I do to increase the level of joy in my life. And all of those are really amazing. But I don't think anything has created as drastic a shift as asking myself the question that I want to share with you today. So first, I'm going to give you a sort of philosophical premise under which all of this is resting. And that is that when I have a physiological experience, or when I have an emotional experience, and oftentimes for a lot of us, those are kind of enmeshed, right? So like I might feel anger as a tightness in my stomach, or maybe my face gets red hot or something like that, right? So those are physiological experiences, but I can really peg them to an emotional experience. And emotion is really just energy in motion. It's movement. So what's driving that energy, right? Like who's the conductor of the caboose that's like making me go towards, on the anger train? And what I've learned from Byron Katie and other people who teach tools for inquiry is something that resonates with me very deeply, that the emotions that we have are driven by the thoughts that we espouse, right? So if you imagine your mind being a harbor and thoughts being like boats that come and dock at your harbor, so the boats that actually dock at harbor are going to be driving your emotional experience. And they're therefore also going to drive your physiological experience and then your behavior, because your behavior is usually an outgrowth of how you feel emotionally and also of the beliefs that you have. Now, you might be thinking, no, well, I don't know. Sometimes I just feel an emotion and that makes me have certain thoughts. And I've been thinking about this a lot because I heard in Rev Daniel Katz's Elevation seminar, him talking about this concept also, how really emotions and thoughts have kind of a cyclical nature, that when we're in a certain type of emotional state, let's say I'm angry, I'm much more likely to invite certain types of thoughts into my harbor. And I totally relate to that. I totally relate to that experience. What I notice within myself is that there are certain beliefs that are sitting way below the surface, and they can kind of chill out there until I sink into a certain emotional experience. And then those beliefs that most of the time I'm believing anyhow come up to say hello, because they have like rich, fertile soil in which to kind of root themselves. And so I think that the thoughts really are there all the time. It's just a matter of how alive they are in you in a certain point in time, and maybe how dormant they are at others. So, so for me, as long as I have that understanding, first I've got a thought, then I've got an emotional, physiological, behavioral experience. Then when I'm feeling a certain emotion, and I would really, if I'm feeling anger, but I don't really want to be in the angry place, I want to be in the happy place, I've got one question that can really shift that around. And that one question is, what am I believing right now that is making me feel this way? You know what? I'm going to write that down because I want everybody to be able to see it. Julio, what am I believing right now that's making me feel this way? And Well, I guess you could pretend there's a question mark there because I forgot to put a question mark. When I ask that question and I create a space, and I don't try to put on my very hyper analytical psychology mind, I really just create a space with total curiosity and openness and allow the beliefs to rise up from the bottom, then I'll be really intrigued and educated on like, okay, what's really going on here? What am I believing right now that's making me feel this way? Well, I might be believing that it's unfair, that nothing ever goes my way, that so-and-so should have treated me better, that such and such a corona policy shouldn't have been enacted, whatever it is, right? I can have all of these different things written down. And then I have the opportunity to use tools for inquiry to take myself step by step through the process of questioning my thinking and freeing my mind from the beliefs that aren't true, that are bringing me into negative states, into beliefs that bring me into joy and positivity and also happen to be more true. Because the really interesting thing is that when we believe something that's not true, our entire body goes into a stress state. And that's how lie detector tests work. When you're lying, the machine goes bonkers because it's measuring that you're stressed out and it's measuring that you're believing something that's not true. And that's why, it says, you're lying, you're lying. And when you're believing something that's true and you're stating something that's true, the machine stays pretty chill and stagnant. So you can know that if you're feeling an open physiology, a calm or a positive state, if your peripheral vision is active and your heart rate's normal, your breathing's normal, your stomach's working just fine, then you can know that, first of all, it feels good, but second of all, you're believing in that moment things that are true. So hopefully that could be helpful to you to ask that question. What am I believing right now that's making me feel this way? And if you have more things that you'd like me to discuss, please send them to me in an email or through Facebook or in the comments on YouTube. Take care.